Humans are incredibly social creatures. British neurologist Sophia Scott even suggests that humor and laughter serve evolutionary purposes. They allow us to socially bond as a group of people, especially in situations where we're not personally familiar with the people around us. It's really a fascinating thing. And if you take a look at some of the most engaging speakers in the world, the Jay Leno's and David Letterman's, they're able to use humor to magnify their message. Audiences who laugh with you quickly come to like you and become much more ready to hear what you have to say. As humans, we're very nervous and apprehensive when faced with a new person or idea, and it's this natural caution that can get in the way of your audience accepting the ideas presented in your speech. In this lesson, we're going to take a look at some guidelines for using humor and incorporating it into your speaking. The first guideline for using humor that we're going to be looking at was developed by the University of Pennsylvania in their Organizational Dynamics Master's program, and I really want you to live by these. I've seen so many speakers try to utilize humor but come up flat because they forget these incredibly important rules. First, ask yourself if you have the right to laugh. You have to be conscious of the nature of your jokes. It's never a good idea to make jokes that target specific groups of people, especially if you don't belong to those groups. Doing this risks turning your audience against you. Always make sure that your humor is appropriate, regardless of who you're speaking to. And secondly, integrate your humor. Your humor should naturally flow in the context of your speech. If it's obvious that you're really trying to work in a joke or you have to go on this really long tangent just to get a laugh, you're not using it right. So we've talked about what you should avoid doing wrong, but let's talk about some strategies for using humor correctly. I think it's obligatory to start with a disclaimer that humor is subjective. You're not always going to have the entire room laughing, but one thing that you can focus on is using humor to make us more comfortable with our audiences. Thinking back to the public speaking comfort zone, we find that some of the most effective humor comes from the material that we know best. Integrating personal stories, experiences, and anecdotes into your speaking in a way that is creative and humorous is often the best way to go about it. This gives listeners a peek into our personal lives, making them more comfortable with us. We bond over humor that comes from shared experiences and mishaps. To sum it up, the key to effective use of humor lies in finding material that is within your public speaking comfort zone and allows people to bond together as a group. If you do these and follow these guidelines, you can use humor to amplify your message and become a more engaging speaker.